Hello. Hello.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to another day with Delenn. I have absolutely no idea what I'm doing today, but that's normal around here. So, probably going to do a little bit of this and a little bit of that and a lot of bit of repeat. We have a bunch of trading to do. We have a bunch of hill to pull down. Ad break. Sorry about that. Ads are evil. And it looks like, though most of my setup buttons work, if I don't open my Stream Deck after OBS, everything else gets mad. So I can use my Stream Deck to start it up, then I have to quit the program and start that again. It's kind of a pain, actually. And there we go. There's got to be another way to do this, and I'm not fully sure, but we'll get there. All right. So you just missed hearing a bunch of phantoms because I didn't sleep very much before I logged off, I guess. The server has moved on, and I want to at least set a respawn point so if we're out and about, we can come back at a reasonable place. What I think we're going to start with is a little bit of the Sorry, for some reason that looked weird to me. A little bit of the tearing down, but I just want to make sure I have villagers before I go anywhere. Okay, they're annoying, but they're here. Great. You might be able to get the Geek Out. Geek Out this morning. Disney Animation, 2 characters from The Lion King. If Fantastic Jock Fox can't get at least 2, we are in sorry shape today. Though I think he said he was pretty chock-a-block with meetings, so if he can't get it, it's just because he's stuck in a meeting. Mm-hmm. And I'm only thinking of one off the top of my head that I think you missed, but I'm not entirely sure. So I think you've covered all the cats and all the rodents. Oh, I guess Pumbaa's not really a rodent. All right. Let's see, for visual interest. Yeah, you didn't touch the hyenas and you missed Zazu. 1, 2, 3. Okay. So 3 more. And then we should be into Lattice Zone I'm really interested in. I just wanted to level off with the top of the moat, and then we can get going with these guild halls. Good? Yeah, love it. Exactly. Let's see, my phone. The best bit about that is I can play the button. I have, Shenzi is one of them, and I can't remember the third one, unfortunately. Like, Ed is the doofus. I know that, but, can't remember what the male sort of with it hyena is actually called. But, yeah, we definitely got this one, so I'm gonna roll. Let's roll right on through. Well, we're into Pixar now. 2 actors who have voiced characters in Toy Story films. 2. That's all we need. Which, frankly, is fairly straightforward. Okay, we're gonna rock. Rock, bad pun, sorry. I know I've got beacons. I'm outside the beacon range at the moment. So I'm gonna try and do this in the most efficient, well, not efficient, non-pokey manner possible, I suppose. And then I go into something slow. Great! Now I'm fairly certain that we can't get too much lower than where we're at because of the mobs in the hills. So we're going to be having a bit more of a probably hill plugging type of day. Okay. I suppose because I can, not for this. Let's just roll this one in Pixar. So the easiest two would be Tom Hanks as Woody, our cowboy character, and Tim Allen as Buzz Lightyear. But if people can think of any others beyond those two that they happen to remember, that would be great, because I don't think there were a whole lot more cameo ones that I recognize. I'm sure there were probably ridiculous ones like Dom DeLuise showing up somewhere. Oh, and Ratzenberger. Because Ratzenberger was doing the T-Rex. There we go. So we got 3. Roll. Oh, okay. 4 comic book titles in which the Flash appears. Clearly there was a Flash series, but I'm not great with individual titles. On the other hand, anybody else can go with some. They're welcome to it. Otherwise, we'll roll it at about 1/4 after. You can tell our house doesn't read a whole lot of comic books, and I didn't read a whole lot growing up. So, yeah, 2 more levels. I'm not quite sure why my brain seems to think peeling off 1 layer at a time is going to be any good. I mean, truthfully, it's probably not. It's probably better if I actually did this vertically. But to be honest with you, I'm a little bit chicken about finding the hill underneath. Particularly the way I found a hole yesterday. That was fun. Not quite. It jumped me a little bit. Oh, there's those phantoms who I was thinking about. Let me sleep, please. Thank you. Ow! Go away! There we go. On back, you bum. I like to watch them burn. There, okay. What is it with this game? It always does a phantom noise after the last of them have burned. But it's not even more like a sizzle or pop, it's their scream. Like their regular yell. I don't know. I have a silly question. Just something I was thinking about the other day, and I mentioned a Fantastic Sherlock Fox, that I've been sort of craving, I guess you could say, to watch a movie. Ah. We haven't had QOTD in a while. Give me a second. This one. Oh, okay. Well, I wasn't going for childhood books. We can go there. I was actually saying that I was sort of craving to watch a movie, kind of like I did when I was growing up. We would, like on a Friday night or Saturday or something, my family would actually watch, in their case, usually an oldie. Not always oldies, but Friday night or Saturday night was usually Saturday, was the movie night. And we'd do a big bucket of buttered popcorn, lots of salt and stuff. My dad would cook it up. And Sometimes we'd have pop. I mean, I'm not a huge pop fan as much anymore. My kids really don't like carbonated drinks at all, which is kind of nice, I guess, because then when we go places, they're not, you know, having lots of sugar drinks. They don't even really like having juices when we go out. But my question for you guys is, what are some of your childhood memories of either being at the movies or watching movies at home? And what was part of the routine? I think childhood book would be a book you read during your childhood. I don't think it really matters particularly. When you say adult books, though, you weren't meaning adult content. That's the key. So it doesn't have to be a teen or tween book per se. I mean, if you want to say, I enjoyed Shakespeare at 8, go for it. You'd be probably quite an anomaly, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it's not a thing. I was thinking, as far as movie theaters go, one of my weird memories was my dad, frankly put, being cheap. And before they really allowed you to bring your snacks of your choice into the theater, which is a pretty common thing now, I think it's just to get people to come. And people say, movies are so expensive these days. Well, part of it was they used to make it back on the snacks. But then people like my dad would do dumb things like soda water used to be free, or club soda. So like carbonated water used to be free. And then later it was like, I think it was 10 cents or something, because that's what they would charge you for a cup. Whether you wanted soda water or just a glass of water. So that's what we'd often have at the theater, was soda water. And then he would, quote unquote, smuggle in a package of Twizzlers in his jacket, like the red rope licorice candy. I mean, it's not even real licorice, but, you know, that's what we'd call it, red licorice. And so he'd bring that in his jacket. I think that he was being oh so sneaky. I'm sure the staff had seen it a million times before. And I mean, there's also legit legit opportunities for that sort of thing anyways. Not necessarily smuggling it in your jacket per se, but people whose hands were full and just had it, you know, no pocket they could put stuff in, so they just stuffed it in their jacket, even if they bought it legit at the concession. So I mean, it's difficult for the staff to try and chase that one down. Fantastic Truck Fox is on books, and he says, I loved Robert Heinlein's Have Spacesuit Will Travel and Chronicles of Narnia, but I might have to go with the Dragonlance books. They're not true kids books, but they're youth accessible since they're safe. No adult stuff, at least. Yeah. And for some people, reading about dragons and stuff was a kid thing, and so for them it would not have been okay for adults to read it, I guess. A bit more of a, you know, grow up behavior, and while I don't agree with that, you know, they lost out for them. Everybody deserves a little bit of imagination and fantasy in your life, no matter how old you are. Until I know that's the right level. Nope, I can take it down that one. Okay, we're good. Let's come back and take this down one more. Which suggests then, I know there was a cave underneath this section, so I just want to think if I made it past the dirt, which some of it was a landscaping layer, then I'm assuming that we're going to hit the hill underneath. Okay, the Geek Out has swapped. We're talking live action now. It still says Disney technically, but Disney owns a lot of properties, so go for it. One title in which a scene takes place at a castle. One? That's it? Because they've done live action, I'm assuming most of these were written to refer to times before they were just redoing all their animated stuff as live action. But now you can use Modern Beauty and the Beast, or Cinderella, they've done live action. So either of those would work. I think they've had I don't know if Braveheart was theirs. I thought it was. But then there's classic ones that I can't... Actually, I was going to say I can't recall if that's theirs or not. No, it might be MGM's. I was thinking of Court Jester with Danny Kaye, but I think that's actually MGM property, not Disney property. They weren't much for live-action films, really, sort of back in the day. They were known for their animation, and they did end up quickly buying other companies to compete in the live-action space, to make it more of a family thing, because people saw animation as just for kids, which, truthfully, it's not. But try to tell that to a business exec. Or most parents these days, to be honest with you. I mean, The Simpsons is becoming, or it's more of a kid or tween thing with adult level jokes in it, whereas when it first came out, it was actually not designed to be for kids at all, and it was very often shown later in the evening because they could get away with doing, you know, pointed political statements and environmental statements and a whole bunch of stuff like that. And then they found out that, yeah, unfortunately, a lot of parents were actually letting their kids watch this, so they had to back it off, which kind of stank. Hey Zerk, how are you today? I'm just grinding and digging and letting Geek Out give me stuff to ramble on about. My favorite childhood book. I'm not sure I have a favorite. I used to read a lot of books, and I read some that I shouldn't have. Well, not that I shouldn't have. Some that did have some adult material in them. When I was a teen. So, yeah, not exactly the greatest examples. I think probably Mary Poppins as a movie, but not as a book. Sounds dumb, but yeah. Oh. I wasn't even thinking what level that was over there. Level with the moat, and it happens to be the 120 most of this is at. Okay. How convenient, I suppose. I really just wanted to level it out with this section. Go over there. I didn't think about it. Not bad here. How are things up north? We've got our winter back, and that's for better or worse. It's that weird sort of sloppy light winter where actually it feels colder than it really is just because it's damp. Our area is not used to being damp. We're usually a fairly dry province. And yeah. On the bright side though, my son's taking outdoor education at school and they're doing snowshoeing and skiing. and the teacher told them that even though their class is only a quarter of the year, that they get it every day of the week. He said, yep, we'll be doing snowshoeing and skiing till the snow is gone, which could be for the entire semester. So maybe he'll get pretty good at both of those. But he said, he was telling me, it's like scouts at school. Uh-huh. And you picked this course? And I'm not questioning it, actually. I recommended he do it because I wasn't sure how much challenge the rest of the year was going to be for him, since it's a new program for him. And you know, he switched schools and he joined a program where a bunch of the kids have been in there together since grade 4. So, yeah, freezing drizzle last night was not pleasant. Made it a bit of a slippery drive back from my dance class. But most of our old biddies were feeling the arthritis for sure. So we took things a little slower than we might have otherwise. One of the nice things about clogging, I like the style. It's far more energetic in the US than it is in Canada. There's far more competitive stuff in the US than there is in Canada as well, particularly west. But at least where I am, the only clogging club in the city is run by a senior who thankfully doesn't look it. But it's run by a senior, filled with adults. I think there's one lady in her, what's she now? Probably in her 30s now, but everybody else is older. Like everybody else. It's actually kind of funny because because one of the ladies, like, we were talking about how time has changed because the club broke for COVID. And so this younger lady came back and we're saying, how old is your kid now? Because she had just recently had a kid before we broke for the COVID break. And she's like, oh, well, she's in preschool and we're doing this and that. I was like, okay, time flies, but now I feel old. I mean, one of my other friends was saying, yeah, last time we talked, your kid was 5. I'm like, yeah, I know. Now she's 10. Just things happen and life moves on. But most people I talked to actually, unfortunately, weren't there last night, which is too bad. Just, I guess it was the slippery roads. There's a few of them that don't like to drive in the winter. They can, they don't enjoy it. So, it doesn't mean that they're not going to come to class, but if it's the slick, mucky stuff, and then they have to drive after dark in that, they're not a fan of it. Yeah, I'm hoping we're headed towards sunshine. At least enough to dry it out. Like, I don't mind the snow, provided that it just dries out a bit more. So I don't really have a plan for today. That's why I'm starting with the cut down. Because it just needs to be done. But I had enough offline stuff to do that I haven't been getting to as much of this grindy bit as I would like. And I realized, you know, I can do the side sweeps, provided that I do it slowly. Okay, what did I do with... What did I do with my boxes? That's the dirt one. That's the stone one. Ah, nope, other way. And then what's this? That's the books, okay. They'll have one more for random flotsam and jetsam. Yeah. Come on. Up and sort. Okay. How convenient. You go back up there. One, two, three. Okay, let's keep going. Yeah, I would just like it to dry out. Let's see. I'm thinking about kids' books. What are some other kids' books I read? I did really quite enjoy Alice in Wonderland and Through the Looking Glass. We've seen that's actually inspiring some ideas for possibly next season. What else did I try? I read those ones, like I actually read those books. We used to have one of those Reader's Digest children's library type things where the books were double-sided. So things like Little Women as a book, Louisa May Alcott, I think it was. You flip it upside down and it had Little Men on the back side. I shouldn't say flip it upside down. It's like just, you know, turn it over. So half the book would be right side up and then the other half would look upside down unless you turned the whole thing over. I'm trying to remember what else was in there because I read that entire collection. I've read most of the Chronicles of Narnia series. Most. There's some I didn't because I didn't like it. So I got as far as... Let's see. I remember reading Magician's Nephew with my mother. That was actually really fun. And Lion, the Witch, and Wardrobe was really fun because we used to do a thing where we'd crawl in bed, frequently on my brother's waterbed. So the three of us would crawl in bed, my brother, my brother, myself, and my mother. And then we would take turns reading a page. So everybody would read slow enough that the people could read over each other's shoulders, or sometimes my mom would read a page faster, but I mean, yeah, so we'd read it enough that we could read over each other's shoulders, but then we'd read out loud our page. So like every third page would be mine and so on. And that made it really fun. I really, really liked that. Part of it was because there wasn't a split even gender. Over shoulder view, Gary says. Okay, welcome on in, Gary. Hello, good to see you. Let's go this way. And we only need it for 5 minutes. So let's get this one going.
Hello there. Hello there.
Oh, come on, are you gonna show? My timer does not want to show, but I'm not going to waste the time looking for it. So we have a 5-minute timer running. And then at the end of 5 minutes, I get to get back out of this view. Thanks, Gary. A little bit of visual variety, which is kind of nice. And yes, I will probably end up in a cave for that, but that's okay. So, actually, Gary and people like Zerk might be good people to ask. One of the things that I've been thinking about is we had a bit of a conversation at the end of stream yesterday that I have a lot of redeems, but not a lot of them actually fit this time slot community. It's not just me. I mean, I don't sometimes. But what I mean by that is that there are things that people do that I'd set up as redeems to try that doesn't really work at this slot. Where am I? I'm at 121. Okay. Yeah, so there's a lot that doesn't really work at this slot so I can pull things out, but I have to figure out what people like and what people don't like. And it's pretty calm. I'm not necessarily saying we have to be super high interaction. I mean, we can see Geek Out works, and I wouldn't necessarily put that as a paid activity because that's just cheesy, and it would make, frankly, I think it would just make it stop. And that's the other twist. I have far too many games. I mean, like, there was Countdown and Hangman, and then for a while I had Trivia as well, and I think there's, I'm not sure exactly. They've got predictions for dumb things, but people didn't seem to enjoy them a whole lot that I could tell, so I figured, okay, if people wanted them, they can redeem for them. So I had the egg prediction go that way. But it's just that sort of thing, like what kinds of things when you guys are watching calmer streamers during the day do you actually enjoy? I know I would like to at some point put in some more sound redeems, just in general, but I'm trying to find some that both I enjoy and I think that you guys might enjoy. But those are the sorts of things. And you guys don't even have to give feedback in stream. Just if you do think of something, you know how to find me. Both of you know me in multiple different Discords, so feel free to drop a tag anywhere or DM or whatever. That works too. So I want to clean up the mess a little bit, but at the same time, optimize it for things that'll actually get used. Whoops. So yeah, that's it. I was watching Local Brick Shop last night, and there were a bunch of things I thought, well, this is super cool, but I know it wouldn't work at all during a workday time slot because it would be too disruptive to people who are lurking doing their thing. So yeah, and while it would be great to have conversation, once again, you know, without being an ASMR channel, I don't expect chat because once again, people are, you know, working or commuting or whatever. Hey Terrier, how are you doing today? So, in any case, that's where I'm at, is looking for interesting things to do that are sort of off and on as people feel that they're inclined without necessarily having too many or boring people to death. One thing I do find interesting, though, is I'm glad. Yeah, I've got that annoying post-nasal drip kind of deal. It just makes you feel like you've got a sore throat when you wake up in the morning, but it doesn't stay. Okay, I'm going to be careful about this because I'm starting to make myself a little bit dizzy. She does a 180. Great. Less than a minute of running around over my shoulder. How am I? Very spacey, actually. I had no idea what I wanted to do this morning. I'm thinking maybe for some of these streams once a week I would still do a modded of some sort, but probably Solo World. Just the modded set that is going on Diecraft's modded server doesn't work for me. Like, it just, the storyline and stuff, or the styling wasn't thrilling me. Nothing against the work. It's, yeah, just, oops. Not entirely my cup of tea, so I wasn't looking forward to playing Desertopolis, but something that's heavily, what's the word? Heavily, quest-based might be more my speed. You can die to a shovel. Burn. Now I burn. Carrots. Alright, my little alarm has gone off, so I don't have to be over my shoulder anymore. How much mess did I leave? Yuck. Okay. Let's, put some boxes down and get rid of some of this mess. Not enough. Did I... Somehow I am down an ender chest, and I don't know why. I know I probably left it somewhere that seemed sensible at the time. But yeah, I'm just thinking that it gives me an opportunity just to have a bit of a change of scene when there's a lot of this sort of repetitive stuff going on. But I mean, all that does, on the other hand, is actually leave the repetitive stuff for later, so I'm not sure if I really want to do that. I don't know. So I'm not saying, hey, tell me guys, it's not where I'm at today. I know I need to make those decisions, but it's what I would enjoy playing. Just sometimes even I need a change of scene. And so I go, for 3 hours? What on earth am I going to do for 3 hours? Well, truthfully, when I'm not streaming, it would be probably throwing on a YouTube or some good music in the back and just doing this. And I mean, some streamers successfully make an entire channel out of doing this. Good commentary for them keeps it going. And this is 120, so let's fill some holes as we go. I have a couple little poke holes that we've made as we went that we don't really need, but let's get some more of this out of the road. Geek Out. Live action one title. Oh yeah, Maleficent had a great one. Exactly. That's a good one. We'll swap that. Named fictional newspapers. Named fictional newspapers. Yep, that's the one I had in my head. 120? Okay, so that path got lower. Huh. Alright, so now we can take down the stone part of this. Ah! Yeah, exactly. For some reason I mixed those two up. Which one is the Daily Bugle? Is that Spider-Man? Then in Harry Potter, of course, there's the Daily Prophet. I had heard an interesting trivia question last night, and I bet Fantastic Sherlock Fox probably heard it as well. But there was a question about Harry Potter I thought was kind of interesting the other day. Compared to all the other portraits in the castle, what was unusual about the portrait of himself that Gilderoy Lockhart had in his office? And that was one of those ones that I caught it on local brick shop last night and I forgot about it at first. Yeah, so that's my question. Was, does anybody remember what was different about the portrait in Gilderoy Lockhart's office? Aside from it being of himself. Nope. It was moving for sure. But it was definitely something that would fit his personality. So he wasn't on a broom. Any other guesses from anyone? I will tell. Okay, so it sounds like no other guesses, even accounting for lag. What was different about his is it's the only meta portrait in the school, where his was a picture of himself painting a portrait of himself. Which, given that he was so full of himself, I'm not too surprised. But I will say, the way that the books had Gilderoy Lockhart's sort of twist at the end and his real story kind of thing can't come out, did not surprise me in the slightest. Because you knew that the guy had to be a charlatan from square one. Yeah, most people don't, because part of what apparently throws people and makes it hard for them to remember is the fact that portraits in the wizard world move, but so the painting of himself doing the painting, so the painter was moving, but the picture he was painting was not. Yeah, he's got all kinds of crazy stuff in there. Ooh. Alrighty. Leggings for Tim Dog. Perfect. Let's see what we got going. Okay, so we are adding armor, so let's make sure we've got enough leather for that. I do have pants. Excellent. We should probably squirrel after this and just take a quick moment to breed up the cows, because I think I didn't actually go back to do that afterwards, so we may not have enough leather. Tim Dog, Tim Dog, Tim Dog. There we go. Oh, good. Put your pants on. There we go. We're getting there, slowly but surely. All right. So we have ourselves a numbers question. Terrier does love the numbers. As usual, we have the addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, any order you like. And once again, I'll use only every number once and see if you can reach the value at the end. I'm just going to square this off a little bit. Ooh. I'm letting Oswin retain the original timer because not everybody's participating, so the 30 seconds works for emote-only mode. I actually wish that disabled-enabled thing would blame the bot, not me. But, you know, them's the breaks. You got it. Awesome. Did anyone else get the answer? I mean, this one looks like a relatively simple one. You don't even, as far as I can see, you don't even need to get the, you don't even need to use all the numbers. I think I got it as well. And I'm assuming that it would be as simple as 7 times 100, add 50, add 25, minus 1. So, yep, same way. Yeah, this one was an easy one. I think we needed an easy one for a while, or like for a change, because we've had a couple that were pretty rough. So let's see. That one. I got smart this time. I made a button. Actually, I could make that button even smarter, and I just realized it, but I took the easy way out. What I mean by that, could make it smarter, I got lazy and just used the, put the command in chat on my Stream Deck button. But I could actually, now that they have a decent version of streamer bot actions for Stream Deck, I could actually just have it trigger the end countdown action directly. Ah, I can cover this one. Easy peasy. 2 blind musicians. We've got... Uh-oh. Yeah, we've got Stevie Wonder, exactly. And Ray Charles. But Fantastic Sherlock Fox knows another one that I don't think he realized he knows. That he knows. So I wonder if he'll catch the one I'm thinking of. My hint would probably be, at least to the fox, would probably be, I did not realize. Yep, that's the one. Misspelled, but yes, that's the one. I did not realize until COVID that he was actually blind. Andrea Bocelli. But yeah, I didn't realize until then. Part of it was that he and his son did a concert from his house as part of the like series of that a lot of stars were doing, sort of concerts from home kind of thing. And his son was helping him out, but because they'd had to rearrange things in their house to be able to get the appropriate singing acoustics and piano in the shot and stuff like that, that it was not something that Bocelli could navigate on his own. So his son had to help him into the right spot, and that's when I figured out he was blind. I was also, took me a second, like, to clue in and go, oh yeah, well that's why he's wearing sunglasses. Bocelli, there's another one of those ones I never would have expected to actually ever do a Christmas album along with the Muppets. That threw me a little bit when I first heard it. But this turns out 120 is going to be the height I'm going to use, but I don't think I'll peel the whole thing all the way down to 120, because that's 120 is the big flat section you're seeing behind the ins. Or maybe that might be 119. So I made it all 120, everything would be dead flat. And I'm not sure I like that. Don't know yet, but I'm definitely going to go down to the Beacon Avenue, I guess. Taking it down to 120, and we'll start building some buildings. I'm starting to get nervous every time I see cobblestone now in here, because it suggests that's the caves I'm dodging. Part of it was because they go down a ways. Oh, interesting. That may... I don't know if you've updated it since the version I nicked from you. The letters games, I like the difficulty, and as long as we mix it up, I don't mind the numbers ones being challenging. I just would like it to, every once in a blue moon, pop up with something that's actually doable. I'm sure at some point there's going to be somebody who's playing the letters game and, like, you know, in their head or verbally blurts out what the word is they got, and then realizes, oh hey, I'm on a business call. The other side just heard that. Which makes no sense at all, because you either need to admit that you're playing a game, or claim that something distracted you that you were trying to read, which some of the words you come up with, that wouldn't make any sense at all either. On the one hand, I love tweaking things about the stream and the bot and stuff, or in-game. And on the other hand, I wouldn't mind a period of some status quo for a while, where things don't break and don't need updating. And I mean, I don't mind adding viewer commands. That's fine, because that's an addition that's pretty bland. But adding things that I have to troubleshoot, at the moment I'm just kind of like, no thanks. Like, there's a question I probably could have asked Terrier, but I didn't think about it yesterday, and I just asked it in a different Discord, because there was a place where I knew there were some C# people, and so I got a piece of code I was working with tweaked for me. It was great. Letters, you can select how many vowels you want. With numbers, you can select how many big numbers you want. Ah, bit more television-like. Okay. I'll have to double check and see if that's in the version I've got, or if I need to ask for an updated version of the file. It's always the case since you built it. Oh, see, I didn't know that. So that means that in time for next week, then I will redeem that, or put that into the redeem, and trying to figure out how to explain it, just sort of saying, select a num set. Actually, maybe I'll just leave it at, just explain that that's what the input's for, and then if there's ones where people just don't, then it'll figure it out for you, so that the redeem doesn't fail outright. You can either send them to me or whatever. That would be actually really helpful, because just life being life, I haven't actually watched a whole lot of Countdown on YouTube for a while. Sounds like actually that might be an option for a good Sunday evening. Hey, fantastic Sherlock Fox. See if we can watch some more Cats. We sort of stopped watching Cats Does Countdown, or Countdown in general, more or less since Sean Locke's passing. But that still leaves us an awful lot that we hadn't actually caught up on. Some of these are picking up, and some of them are getting bounced. Oh, I got a hole in the ground. Okay. Hey. See, so we've rolled musicians. 2 professional athletes who have become actors. Ooh. Okay. 2. I didn't know 2 of them had. That's not true. I can think of 2 now that I think about it. I can think of 2. 2 professional athletes who've become actors. Although one of the ones I'm thinking of, I wouldn't necessarily have qualified as an athlete. Michael Jordan and Vinnie Jones. Ooh, good choices. Good choices. I was thinking Arnold Schwarzenegger for one of them. And while I wouldn't necessarily qualify World Wrestling, per se, as an athletic sport, Dwayne Johnson definitely did some bodybuilding on the side, the competitive bodybuilding. But, yeah, he's kind of sus, generally. Just like the sport. trying to remember. It's what they're. Trying to think if there's any others that I know. Used to be a few swimmers that did, but I can't remember any of their names, so that doesn't help. Well, let's roll it and see what we've got. Ah, I know I've got this one, but I'm gonna see who else can get this one. Fantastic Shock Fox quite literally just would end up going around the corner to our DVD shelf. It still sits in our media room, even though we don't play them. I mean, wrestling, real wrestling, more Greco-Roman style, is definitely a sport. Hence the reason that, you know, they actually have it at the Olympics. But yes, the stuff that used to be WWF and now is WWE is definitely entertainment. Ridiculous entertainment. Yes, well, it certainly is. He did mostly the beauty stuff in terms of like Mr. Olympia and so on, but from what I understand, he also briefly had a stint in powerlifting, which is certainly a sport. There's nothing wrong with wrestling. I mean, I grew up on my dad enjoying part of it. I knew some of the major faces. Oh, I guess in that case, if we're going to count wrestling as a sport for that purpose, Hulk Hogan went into acting as well. He was terrible, but he went into acting as well. Yeah, Bruce Lee and Chuck Norris were both competitive martial arts people. Okay, let's sleep on this one because I don't really want the Phantoms back. So the current one we've got is movies, 6 film musicals. Now, I will point out that while it would be a super easy shoe-in, I'm not going to count Disney stuff as musicals per se. I mean, they've been turned into musicals later on, but the actual early on animated ones, because that would be super duper easy. You just start naming Disney films. Let's see if we can get 6 that were not animated. How about that? Or not animated as their main focus. Les Mis, Annie, Oliver, Hamilton, and Cats. There's 5. Phantom of the Opera, of course, makes 6. You've hit the majority of the popular ones. Oliver is a good one that a lot of people don't think of. And Grease, yep. Some of the other classically named ones would be West Side Story, possibly Chicago, and Mamma Mia, yep. Music Man and Sound of Music for sure on both. Indeed, yes, definitely Fiddler on the Roof, which, oddly enough, the I believe, was 74 film is actually one of the few films that that the Vatican has actually shown. I guess, and in Pope John Paul II supposedly was interested in watching Shoes of a Fisherman, which is not a musical, but it's a story about a guy who becomes Pope, like the whole process of selecting a Pope. Chad is indeed nailing it today. I've yet to hear any of the Sinatra ones, but, you know, that's just luck. And then there's some other... My mom used to love movie musicals. It was huge for her. So she'd watch some of the more obscure ones, like Finian's Rainbow. I'm trying to remember which one had... Yeah, it was Finian's Rainbow. It was kind of a funny one. We used to watch all kinds of weird old films, like Darby O'Gill and the Little People, with Sean Connery actually singing. Go figure that one. Oh, Oh.
Welcome.
Yeah.
Welcome.
I am the very model of a modern Major General. I posted a link relatively recently to The Marriage of Figaro, which is a very tongue-in-cheek. The version I did was a PBS, or posted was a PBS production. So as in it was done as a live operetta, and then the Public Broadcasting Corporation filmed it and aired it in the US. But it's definitely fun to catch because it's a very comedic, tongue-in-cheek musical. I think it's Peter Schiller of Blockbusters, or no, Blockbusters, pardon me. And it's kind of corny, but it's one of those ones that's definitely fun to see. The opening act involves the classic campfire song "Found a Peanut," and the country silly song "Oh Susanna" that a lot of kids know or knew. Yeah, Darby O'Gill was awesome. I mean, there's not a... I will go family-friendly adjacent just long enough to say there's not a lot of films where you can, in a family way, get away with saying you've got a 12-inch leprechaun in your bag. It just sounds all kinds of wrong and then some. Dreamgirls, yes, indeed. Yep, they did do that one. So welcome on in, Raiders. Welcome, welcome. Let me just pause for a second. Oops. There we go. Most of you know me. If you don't, my name is Delenn. Long story made short. And welcome on in, Max, off the top bar. That's great. Off the top rope, sorry. See, that's kind of amusing. It's almost like somebody called Max. So we were just talking about sport actors. Sport actors. People from professional sports who became actors, and we were debating whether or not at the time WWF, as it was called, would qualify as a professional sport. And then in comes Max. It's perfect. Okay, so welcome on in. Thank you very much for joining us. Thank you to the Double Parkers so far. I appreciate that you are willing to spend time with me. Was. I would say I think it was a professional sport until it got too corny, and then it became something that was not a professional sport any longer. So I really do think it used to be, but then that people started getting away with things that made it no longer sport. I mean, if you think about it, one way of looking at it is if somebody, say in a high school fist fight, decided to try and clobber somebody else with a chair, not only would they get in bigger trouble, but somewhere along the line, at least one teacher would probably say something along the lines of like it being, "My goodness, that's unsporting." So, truth be told, there's a lot of bodybuilding required, which is kind of a sport, in the same way that people go jogging, even if they never compete. Aha, sporty. Which is almost like saying sport adjacent. But anyways, we were allowing qualifications like The Rock or Dwayne Johnson. Then we moved into film musicals, which, oddly enough, our group knows quite a lot about. And it's not just people that live with me. Another way that I like to look at it, and it's, as I say, it's just a personal opinion, is if you go to your doctor or something and they say, hey, you need to get more active and do and try some sports or something just to get more active and moving and healthy. And you say, oh, well, what if I take up WWE? And they probably look at you like you've just grown 3 heads. Yes, all sports are entertainment to some extent. I mean, we can go around this one in circles, and it was just kind of amusing that the timing of the question and your arrival were very fortuitous. So, yeah. It works. Actually, I was kind of wondering if that question was going to come up before or after I saw you today. So, Max, I apologize for being distracted during your stream, so I was not able to catch any of it before I went live. Please do tell what you were working on today. Ooh, the gauntlet has been thrown. I personally look at it as less scripted and more an agreed upon set of parameters, and that may or may not have any of the things inside those parameters triggered at any time. Kind of like, what do you call it? Kind of like a scripted fight for a movie, in that you know what's supposed to happen, and does it always come off that way? Not necessarily. You were grinding oak for your trident farm. Noob question. I always have noob questions. What do oak and tridents have to do with each other? Is it sort of you're using that for a building material? Because tridents are a sea thing and oak's a land thing, that's why I was confused. Ah, okay, makes more sense then. Okay, cool. Sorry, for some reason my brain was thinking, how is that an essential ingredient that couldn't be replaced with something else? And now I see it's a choice of build material, which works great. I mean, I'm being a little obsessive about taking this down to a particular level before I build other things on it, so I can see where you're coming from. Wow. Honestly, for a split second there, Gary, I was picturing an old video that I think Fantastic Sherlock Fox might have seen. We were watching some silly thing with a guy who decided he was good, like an old guy who has dentures, that decided that he was going to pull a Cadillac with other people sitting in it by his teeth. It's kind of an odd one. Checkerboard block. Oh, yes, okay. I'll have to come take a look at some point. Whether it be VODs or I think I'm whitelisted enough to be able to wander around. I don't know. I'll have to check. I have to check with the Zerk on that one. And then I'll put it on the now or not now list, right? The someday TM? Ah, I see. That makes sense, Gary. Oops. That makes far more sense. I mean, I guess another way of looking at it, of this whole, is wrestling entertainment a sport? Is not necessarily to compare it to sport-approving bodies for major competitions, but looking at it another way, going, is wrestling a sport any more than Toad Sings is music? So, yeah. It's all a matter of opinion. And honestly, one pays better. Okay, let's put this one away. It's not full. Great. Let's put that one in here for now. This particular song seems very, very repetitive. Oh, well, we're less than 30 seconds away from the end, so that's fine. So you guys are aware that I'm using Epidemic Sound for my music, and I was just having a little bit of a burnout on the tropical feels and chills lists, just needing a bit of a break from that. Have not yet figured out how to get their search system to cough up now playing lists unless I actually choose and download a whole ton of songs, which for the amount I use them, like, that seems kind of ridiculous. I mean, just because with streams, you go through enough music that I'd end up with a whole lot. So anyways, for now I'm still playing with the publicly available lists via Spotify, but we'll see if I end up changing that. Anyway, where I'm going with it is today's list is the work from home with a feel-good focus. And it seems to do for now. I have no idea what number we're on in the list, but there's quite a lot. Where are we here? 72. Okay, so we're on 72 songs so far. And there's 7 hours and 58 minutes available, so if I stop and start there, we have a few days worth of this, nothing being repetitive, and then beyond that, I can always stick with that and just go a shuffle for a while. So that'll work. Bit of a change. Tropical is cool, but some of my tropical focus of late be like very, very Polynesian. Hangman! Hangman has arrived! So we have started a 10-letter word, and you have 10 lives to try and guess the word. E is always a good place to start. That's the most common letter in the English language to date. Although there are days I wonder, because more and more words are being accepted as okay, even though there are shortenings that do not involve vowels. So I wonder if E is going to lose its place as the leader. In case anybody's curious, as you may have noted earlier, Hangman and Countdown, I believe those are the two, that are courtesy of Terrier Dart's fine work. And for most things, he actually has been my go-to when I get really confused with something StreamerBot-esque. Unless it's the nonsense from Stream Up Tips, and then I make it their problem, not his. Wow. Tremendous. On more than one front. Yeah. Not bad. That went quick. So Max and crew that came in, if you have not answered already, what was your favorite book as a kid? We've been talking a little bit about kids' literature today. Ooh! Welcome on in, Neon. Hello!
Hello. Hello.
Happy day. Oh, wow. Ah, yes. It was grocery day, was it? One of the nice parts, as I remember from when Fantastic Sherlock Fox and I had a condo, is that when you don't have a huge ton of space to store a huge ton of groceries, then sometimes it can be great to get a few more fresh meals, and your meal rotations can be, or have the potential to be more exciting, just because they don't actually, like, you don't have to get stuck with the same thing for 6 weeks or whatever, because you bought way too much of it. Job's done. Hey, Poodle Pirate, how are you doing? Welcome, welcome on a Thursday. We're still tearing things down here. I'm only going to take it down to the green beacon, I think, and then we'll start building some other buildings with this spot. I think we're going to build on the stone and then terraform after the fact, just because that way I'd long-term save myself some effort, short-term avoid holes, and we actually get to the product a little bit faster as well. I'm trying to get some housework done. Ooh. Wow. You're good at productiveness. Yeah, I've got housework related stuff I need to do today. For example, I need to do some more laundry. And I'm actually thinking, it sounds dumb, but I'm actually thinking, I'm one of those people who has favorite clothes that I wear a lot, but I still have quite a lot of them, which means then that I can get away with not doing laundry for quite a while and not repeat wear things. I mean, I can repeat wear things I haven't totally got dirty, like pants. If you haven't gone anywhere and gotten all sweaty or something, then I'll wear the pants again. But I'm thinking maybe, since one of my laundry baskets is kind of wearing out, that I should actually get myself a smaller one to encourage me to do laundry more frequently. It's kind of a toss-up though, because I'm also that type of personality that even with a smaller basket, I might actually just make the pile that sits on top of the basket larger. Taco soup! Yum! Yeah. I look forward to, I mean, I love my kids to death, but I look forward to the days that either their palates grow or eventually they move out, and then we can start having a wider variety of adult meals. Well, not adult meals, mixed meals, soup meals, that kind of thing. Their palates are growing slowly, but just not fast enough for my taste. Taco soup is amazing. Actually, what's really fun is some people put in actual chips. I used to like to put in the little curls you could buy, like the taco strips or the tortilla chip strips. Max says, I read a lot of great novels like Tom Sawyer, Huck Finn, Count of Monte Cristo, Kidnapped, Robinson Crusoe, Treasure Island, Musketeer, Man in the Iron Mask. Yeah, basically classics, right? Like, a lot of those ones, actually, the Tom Sawyer and Huck Finn ones, as well as I think Robinson Crusoe and Treasure Island, I think were a back-to-back pair. And some of those books would have been the ones in the Reader's Digest set I was referring to earlier, where they were back-to-back. We also had some weird one that was like all matched green books, and it was full of short stories, but they weren't Grimm's fairy tales necessarily, but there were a lot of fairy tales in there, like Snow White and Rose Red. And originally Snow White actually had a sister who was going to show up in the Disney movie, and I can't remember what the reasoning that I read was that she didn't, but there was something that was like, just, it wasn't an exciting enough character or something, so they nixed it and gave anything that was supposedly important out of her character to Snow White to do anyway, which is kind of funny because Snow White was done early enough that made the character flat regardless. It's just Disney for you. The Ramona and Beezus books. Oh, yeah. Yep. And I got the lovely little Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret. A lot of girls did. I remember school making us read chrysalids. That wasn't fun. To me, just kind of creepy. I used to like the Nancy Drew and Hardy Boys books. We did Boxcar Children as well. Oh, great. I just got a pair of boots. Nice. Where'd you come from? There's a lot of zombies today. Okay, so then somewhere underneath there's probably a zombie spawner. Oops. This one? That's what I figured. I probably had some andesite. Okay. 1 and 2. Boop. Said I wasn't going to do this for 3 hours, and I mean it. Mostly. Mostly. Creeper time! Yeah, better to have zombies and not creepers, exactly. I'll take a zombie spawner any day of the week over a creeper spawner. Because I find it's just too easy to get overwhelmed. Alrighty. Can we make it through this section fairly soon? Yeah, not too bad. Now that we're in the range of the beacon, it's not terrible. Stop it. Stop overmining. So I'm going up, not... Anyways. Let's see, what have we got? Pop Culture Party, we've switched. It says, 2 performers who've been on Saturday Night Live as a musical guest and a host. Okay, well, that limits it. Huh. I haven't watched Saturday Night Live in so long. I mean, I'll give you an example. I have not watched Saturday Night Live in long enough that I think one of the last no, actually, I don't think I ever got to see an episode with Chris Farley on it. And he's already passed away. So there's your example. Just for curiosity's sake, does anybody remember an old TV show version of Maniac Mansion with Joe Flaherty on it as the main scientist father character? Weekly reader paper. I don't remember which one that was. Nope, not here? Okay. Actually curious, and I don't think it was a Canadian thing, but from all I know it might be. I can't remember if his wife was played by Maureen O'Hara or not. I wouldn't be surprised. But yeah, there were quite a lot of differences between the US and Canadian versions of shows such as like Sesame Street and stuff, so sometimes I forget that we didn't always have the same guest hosts on things. Yeah, if you're into really campy, very, very campy TV shows, Maniac Mansion was definitely a silly one. I mean, for those of you that are... I'm not sure how well it compares to the game, if there's any comparison in anything other than name, but in the television show, the premise basically was we had a mad scientist father. He wasn't really mad per se, but he did a lot of inventing and stuff. And at one point there was an accident, and I think it was his wife's brother was looking for something. He got into a machine that was supposed to transport you from point A to point B, except in the opposite machine, a fly flew in and there was a mistake. Something happened, and the main character, or not main character, sorry, the human character got crossed with the fly. So he was fly scale with a fairly fly body, but a human head and personality aside from cravings for fly-related foods. So that was one part of it. They had a toddler who got in one of the experimental machines, and his body got aged into that of an adult. So basically it was a toddler in overalls. And yeah, and he got grown up to an adult who was like a balding older man. Or very high hairline, I guess. Long hair down to his shoulders and stuff. But he had to act like he was, 2 or 3. But he had, the ability for language like an adult, so the pronunciation was relatively clear. But it's like every parody that you ever heard of an adult parodying what their toddler said. that kind of stuff. And I guess the scientist guy, I don't know if he got a day job at a lab or if that's what his real job was. But yeah, and then so they had other characters that lived with him too, like his wife and the wife of the fly guy was very frequently in it. I don't know if she was living with them or not. I think she did. But it was that sort of chaotic mess. I think there's some teens involved as well who just realized their dad was weird. So that was one of the crazy programs we had on TV. I think it would be on the equivalency of, probably the equivalency of the type of channel that would show you like Nickelodeon programs, but it wasn't a Nick program. Yeah, they used to call it YTV, but I don't remember what YTV, or like what the Y in that stood for. It was just youth TV, because it was supposed to be interesting to teens, but yeah. Later in the evening they had some really weird stuff. I don't know what made me think about that today, but I was just wondering. I think it's maybe the Saturday Night Live reference, because I'm pretty sure Joe Flaherty and Eugene Levy had shots at that program at some point or another. They're not musicians by any stretch of the imagination, heaven forbid. I mean, Joe Flaherty can sing, but the only thing he's really known for singing was him and another comedian had done a parody of not a parody, sorry, a cover of A Christmas Little Drummer Boy, where the original had Bing Crosby with, oh shoot, what's his name? Anyway, so that just made me think about it. Okay, let's see what else. I think that question didn't really work, so let's pull it. I swear, this is gonna sound stupid, but you see the green card here, where my finger is? Okay, just for a really quick split second here, chatting. Nope. Yeah, that'll work. Let's go Lego. Okay, so yes, this is a mess, sorry guys. But, just for a split second, let's do this one instead. Okay, so a bit of a desk mess. You see this green card? Green bordered card at the top? And the size of this stack? This short section down here, that's all the Disney related questions I've put in. The other stuff has not been put in from the Disney collection of Geek Out. So how we get Disney so often, I'm not entirely sure, but I think just Disney in general is a pop culture kind of thing. So that's probably why it appears in the Geek Out so often. Anyhow, so we're on to 4 Pixar films. Let's see if we can just nail that one and get it out of the park. We've got Up, WALL-E, any of the Toy Story films. Which is really funny in terms of timing. Space Cat! And, was Inside Out one of the Pixar ones? I can't recall. Toy Story 1 through 4. The thing about Pixar, they have very different style of art. Oh, A Bug's Life, I think, was a Pixar one as well. Okay, so let's roll that one. There we go. I don't listen to Beyonce, so if anybody else does, or is aware of, then feel free to roll that one. Finding Nemo, The Incredibles, and Inside Out. Yes. I forgot that The Incredibles were one of the, and Cars was too. For sure. I forgot that The Incredibles was one of theirs. Is it just me, or does time fly when I'm mining. Feels like I just slept. And I think, Cars definitely was. They have a separate Cars land in Disney. But I think it was its own thing at one point. I guess, and I'm pretty sure we had sort of a Pixar land. Finding Dory! That's actually another one I've never seen. Alright. 11:30. Do. Yes, the Slinky ride. Exactly. Exactly. See, Poodle knows where it's at. Speaking of rides and stuff, actually, now they've announced it. While I did prefer Disney World in Florida over Disneyland and California Adventure in Disney California, or in Disney California, in Anaheim, I still liked Disney World near Orlando a little bit better, but over the last several years they've kind of messed it up. I mean, that's what stock markets will do to you. You know, you do things that the public find unpopular, and then when you try to tell your board in the stock market, more or less, nope, this feature isn't popular, so we're going to discontinue it. Then they say, no, you're not, and your stock value starts to fall. Or there's, major threat that if you do, your value will fall, which is, of course, not good. So they start keeping features, or adding features that people think are going to make them money, even when the fans hate it. So I've been quite interested to see what Universal's answers to these are. And one of the things they're doing is they've announced in Florida the Universal Epic. Was it Epic? Something or other. Epic Universe, I think it is. But they're actually opening up what's, in essence, I would say kind of another park. Well, it is really. But each part of the park has more lands to it. So it's having a central hub, a lot like Disneyland or Disney's Magic Kingdom. And then you go out to the sides to other themed lands. And they've got partnerships with, say, Nintendo to be able to do a Mario World theme. And then they've still got the IP rights for theme parking from the Harry Potter theme. So they're adding a whole new world to that. They're adding something from the Fantastic Beasts franchise, which I was surprised, given that the movies were canceled. But then they're adding the British Ministry of Magic to it as well, because they know what makes them money. They know what people like to see, whether or not they agree with it. They're making money out of it. But anyways, it looks well enough done in the trailers and some of the overhead shots I've been seeing of the construction zone that I'm actually quite interested in checking that out at some point in Florida. They've got the same problems that Disney had when they first started building. They're building on a swamp. So you've got it. So first thing you have to do is shore up the space before you can start building heavy things on it. So that's kind of an interesting story. I think I'll probably, because I like documentaries, I'll probably enjoy at some point a documentary on how this park was built. But in terms of staffing, friendliness, and upkeep, I think Universal has for years had the upper hand on Disney. You don't hear nearly as many former Universal theme park staff member horror stories. I mean, now it could be just that everybody wants to bite off Disney's head these days, but you just don't hear as many weird stories out of that. I mean, your standard guest story kind of stuff happens from both sides, but how the company treats you type of stories, or what the rules are for the staff from the company, you don't hear nearly as many out of Universal as you do from Disney. And from what I've been reading, in the last few years, the Universal parks are doing a far better job of maintenance and cleanliness than Disney has. So it's another piece that's making me more interested. But with these new epic adventure type of things, epic universe places, the IPs are interesting enough that I might want to actually check it out. One of the things they're intending to do is revitalize some of the old horror characters, which is... I like today's campiness of what used to scare people, but I understand that that doesn't make money. They want to make, they want to make them scary again like they used to be. Oh, sorry for the auto mod. Apologies. Yeah, totally missed it. Yeah. Oh. Which I can guess what it picked on. Yeah, you get to go through the Avatar ride and see the Na'vi. I liked it. I hope the version you saw was good. It probably did. To be honest, it probably didn't like the phrase brain fart, and I'm not quite sure why. Because there's family friendly, then there's ridiculous. It's too family friendly! I don't think I'll ever have that guy visit me. But yeah, I think I liked the Avatar theme for some. We didn't actually get to see the ride-on version of the Avatar stuff where you actually get to ride on the flying whatever it was thing. I don't have a problem if you just outright permit that term, Fantastic Sherlock Fox. That's okay, because we have, for good reason, it doesn't bother us now these days when you get, like, a 3-year-old in preschool who says that. And as long as they're not hung up on repeatedly talking about that and nothing else, then usually even the daycare workers don't care, so whatever. Yeah, the Disney's animatronics were for the boat ride, Avatar ride. You just basically go through a tunnel and you see some of the characters on the side and that sort of thing, and little ride through their world. They were well done, but not necessarily smooth enough to not look like robots, like animatronics. It was just a bit of a giveaway in that respect. And it's difficult. It's very difficult to get that to happen. I mean, if you're filming animatronic characters, so let's say we had animatronic characters live acting with people, it's going to look janky. But if you had animation, it's animation, fine. Though I will give them credit. One of the things I love about Disney's work is they figured out via computers how to project from the inside of a non-smooth shape and make it fit. So, for example, Haunted House, or even, say, the heads in, like, the heads of sections that don't move in the Avatar area, which is a newer one, they've got projections going inside head-shaped, I guess you could say screens, for lack of a better term. And so it works out well that way. You can make the heads do just about anything you can get a computer to do, and look a lot smoother than you can in real life. Like, the projectors are actually working a lot better. The Haunted House looks cooler than it used to. Looks worse with the lights on than it ever did before, but I mean, that's pretty normal. Okay. I keep saying, I'm gonna be done, and I'm not. We're almost there. But the idea of pioneering being able to project things, I mean, they were doing it for a long time on cars, so that's part of how they make, in the parks, how they make, Lightning McQueen being able to talk to kids and stuff, is that it's not all pre-recorded. I mean, some of it is, but they can have shows where it isn't, and it's just somebody behind the screens, watching through cameras, seeing how the kids are reacting, or guests, I guess, are reacting, and then computers can match whatever the person is saying, which then gets projected on the inside of a car-shaped thing, I guess. Car-shaped model? Model doesn't necessarily have to be small, so yeah, car-shaped model. That's how they make cars talk to you, which is kind of cool, actually. Yeah, the ride you're thinking about was the flying thing. The reason we didn't stand in line for it was partly that it was a really, really long lineup, and partly that, you know, it falls in that category of Dylan gets sick. So it wasn't worth the super long lineup with that risk. I would have had to skip it anyways. And I think my daughter at the time would have been physically too small, so I would have had to have her not go, and then that's just a whole different kettle of fish. She was already wound up about the fact that she missed the Soarin' glider ride because she had to use the washroom partway through and there was no way we could get back in there. And even though she's seen it since, and seen a very, very good YouTube of it, as like a ride on YouTube, I still think it's not the same experience, but I still think she should try watching one of the YouTube ride-alongs that we saw. But try watching it on the YouTube video player inside the Oculus headset. She doesn't get as much opportunity to look around, but it's one of those ones that it makes it close, and if you move your head, it moves, kind of thing. So it can sort of be faked out, but it's not, as I said, it's not the same as being on it. But, yeah. It's funny, some of the rides that we were, in 2018 when we took the kids, some of the rides that we were concerned about, or at least I was concerned about, I mean, Fox didn't really care much, or not care much, didn't have much worry. But some of the rides I was worried about them maybe being scared, or saying that they didn't get to see enough of it, kind of thing, to know where to look and know what to do. That would have, so them, then in the build-up to our going, we actually... I went through and pulled a bunch of YouTube first-person view stuff so that we could... Part of it was to be able to shortlist what people were going to see. Yeah, Soarin' was the one we were referring to. But some of the ones that... Like some of the roller coasters and stuff, that either A, they would be a little bit too small for, or B, we thought might scare them, were ones that I gave them ride-alongs through via YouTube first, to see if they were actually interested in seeing it. And if it made their yes, we want to see this list, then we'd try. But if it didn't make their list, then it was like, okay, good, we can save time there. And even back then, the system for organizing and booking was a heck of a lot easier than it is now. They didn't charge you extra for like the fast pass kind of thing. I mean, we had a bracelet or whatever, but they didn't charge you, you know, stupid amounts of money just to be able to get in to a line that would have been 1 hour instead of 3 hours. So, but that helped shortlisting a fair bit because there was a bunch that we were able to just take off the list that they just were not interested in. And it also allowed me to show them a few rides that I knew were not there anymore. But had they been there, I would have insisted, yes, we've got to do this one because, you know, because Mum absolutely loves it, right? On to the next chore, she says. Geez. Well, you are productive today. All right. Let's get this one going. So I'm looking forward to the Universal ones. I've done Universal as a kid when I was in California, but I've not done it as an adult. So the tram ride sort of movie thing back then was very different than it is now. I think there's more to it. Though some elements you and I share in common, I think we have enough differences that there's other reasons. But in any case, you've got things done, right? That's the key. I have a very patient fox, but if you ever had to go work in an office, I'd actually not have much choice. and I would have to do far more of the stuff that I don't like doing. He just gets it done because he just wants it over with. And over the years, I've learned not to stand in his way. But yeah, the other thing I find interesting is that I think I must have hit, or we must have hit, a bit of the sweet spot with our kids when we took them to Disney. Because they were young enough to enjoy, but old enough to be able to skip some things and still enjoy others. And little things too, like they're old enough that we could say, okay, we're gonna go sit at the table, and once you know where the table is, you can go back and get the condiments for whatever it was yourself. You know, because it's like 50 feet or something, and we could see them the whole time and all that jazz. So that was great. Because otherwise there were times where we just wouldn't have gotten dinner in there. I don't know how many times I've been to Disney. I have to figure that out, like just in general. I know I've been at least twice to California. And I'm trying to think. 1, 2, 3, 4 times, I think, to Florida. Which, in hindsight, makes me wonder how we afforded it. Carefully, for sure, but there's no way I'd be going under the prices they charge today. No way at all. And the sad part is, we even used to get in technically cheaper than Americans, which isn't actually true. But there would be a discount for Canadians, which really all it did was make the conversion from Canadian dollars to American dollars in all the costs less painful. But it never really changed much of anything. But it was an incentive to try and get people to come down from across the border. But yeah, years ago we learned in Florida, I believe it was, not to trust, don't book your hotel based on aerial pictures when you go, oh hey, it's only a mile from the parks, this is fantastic, we could walk this. At least don't let Delenn book your hotels, because yeah, we ended up being, oh, it was only a mile on the other side of a freeway with no walkovers. So yeah, not great. But the other part is once I'd had the experience via Fantastic Sherlock Fox of being able to stay in one of the themed properties. Well, it wasn't really themed. It was I think it was a Weston property that was just, somehow they had a deal with Disney that they were able to be officially on Disney property and treat a lot of things like a Disney property in terms of being able to hold theme breakfasts and stuff. That 2? Oh, I had 3. But otherwise, they were actually a Weston property because it was a conference hotel. But once I'd had that experience of a semi-themed restaurant or hotel, I never wanted to go back to non-themed if it was showing somebody Disney for the first time, which we were doing with the kids. My parents used to be Disney buffs. Not buffs, fans, I guess. Since way back in the day, like there's... Giving you a hint, there's Super 8 movie footage and photos from that period from the 70s of my parents in Disneyland. Like, and all the awful fashion that entailed. But they used to do things in Disney that we're not allowed anymore, and it kind of sucks because I think it would have been fun. But under the right circumstances, of course, supervision and all. But they used to allow you in Disneyland to like do archery with bows and arrows, but you can imagine how that would easily turn into a PR and safety risk nightmare. Yeah, there used to be little train rides. You could just like hop on a little train and ride it around, and like on tracks and stuff. And unfortunately, that didn't last very long either, because I guess apparently somebody got injured. So yeah. But that's okay. You know, the advantage to not finding places that you repeatedly want to go to is kind of nice. because then it encourages us to experience other places. So, for example, aside from having family living there, I probably would not have thought to, well, not been serious about, I guess, visiting Ireland. It was one of those, yeah, I'd like to someday, but I never thought we'd do it as a family. Now that we've done Southeast Ireland as a family, I love it, and I would love to go back. My parents keep going to Hawaii repeatedly. I don't know if I'd be hooked on Hawaii per se, but some sort of quasi-tropical vacation would be awesome to take my kids on. Because we live in a province that is not near the ocean and has no really decent lakey, beachfronty type of property. It sounds dumb, but it's really lame going to a lake that's in essence surrounded by prairie. Sorry guys, it just does not have that same sort of feel. But then when we can get to the ocean, of course we're far enough north that it's cold. And so of course that's not always a pleasant experience either. You know, you're not going to hang out on the beach when you're cold all the time. I'm not a mountain lakes kind of person. I don't like being cold, so cold water doesn't work for me. But in any case, so that wouldn't have been high on my list. Part of it with Disney World was we went multiple times, partly due to having... what's the word? Well, one, things change, right? But also it was different group each time. So because things changed, one of them was our honeymoon. One of them was taking, Fantastic Sherlock Fox had a conference in California. So we figured we'd take the time to go to California and then drive around a bit and see a bunch of other stuff. One of them was his mother had never been to Disney before. We thought it was kind of awesome because my family talks about it so much. So we took her to Disney World. And my parents came, and I don't remember which one it was. Whether it was my brother's fiance or my brother's eventual wife, or whether it was an earlier one. I think it was his eventual wife that came to Disney. I can't recall. Anyways, the two of them, heights are very, very different, but hair color was fairly similar, so sometimes I mix them up in my memories. But in any case, we had 7 of us all together, and that was kind of fun. I think it was actually his current, his wife. So yeah, they weren't married at the time though. And then let's see, what was the other one? Yeah, I think that's probably it. Because then there's the trip where he had a conference the whole time, which was great for me because I was more of a Disney fan at the time than he was. I don't know if he would still say he is or not, but so I spent a lot of times tooling around the parks, and we actually spent money on passes for me that we didn't for him. And then he would join me later in the day and would do stuff either in the themed section outside the parks, or I think we bought a partial pass for just a couple of days that he was actually there. And so yeah, I did a lot of that running around being a great big kid during the day while he was unfortunately stuck in a conference. And so we'd meet after the obligatory cocktail hour business. He had a conference there a couple other times that I wasn't able to go, but I don't think he actually spent the money to go on park on those times I didn't go. But we just don't have a lot of stuff. I mean, my parents right now are actually away in Hawaii, and I'm not sure if I'd want to go to Hawaii right now. For one, it's very touristy, by necessity. I know it sounds funny, and not a haha funny at all. But, I mean, people say it's touristy in general, but it's becoming worse, and part of that is because with the environmental disasters they've had, some of their other industries have been really hard hit. So tourists are what seems to keep on paying. 2 titles in which a sea monster appears. Depending on your definition of sea monster, we've got Little Mermaid and 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea and basically any shark in Finding Nemo. Jaws for sure, yep. Though Jaws was not a Disney product. Yes, you're right. There is a sea monster in Phantom Menace. I forgot about that. When our heroes are driving their way out in some sort of submersible. Yeah. Okay. That was rough. Classic book title. The White Whale. Yes. Moby Richard. Wow. You know, I never thought of that excuse before, Fox, but that actually works far too well. I mean, come on. Potty Mouth is known for pirates. Aren't they supposedly cussing a blue streak? Actually, that was a funny thought that you mentioned AI automod. I've seen ones where they try to have more humanoid-style responses from the bots based off of ChatGPT. Like there's an option for that I saw just recently for ChatGPT to go through my bot, my bot to go through ChatGPT when a raider comes in and pull some of the usual information about what they were last playing and so on, but to come up with some sort of little bio for them. And I am very scared of what that would probably turn out like with some people that we have, because we're doing fairly normal things, but I just figure that the bot would probably come up with some pretty crazy stuff that you may or may not want to see. I don't trust it. Anyone more family friendly than Poodle Pirate? Yeah. Yeah, there are some times where the pirate and I have disagreed a little bit on where the line is on family friendly, but hey, we stay civil, and that's the key, right? But it's kind of amusing to think that, you know, I think one of the things I would find that it seems to be intentionally holding back the proliferation of things like AI chat and so on is partly because it's too easy to train it to be nasty. Because, frankly put, it doesn't have a filter in that it doesn't necessarily know what is okay and what is not okay. But another piece that's, I think, holding it back a little bit is that, at least right now, it's commercial venture in a lot of cases. So many of the services that are hosting that or allowing people to use it want subscriptions. They want you to pay for it. Well, I am certainly not interested in paying for something like that, which is part of why it doesn't come onto the stream. So, yeah, that's why we don't have AI stuff yet. That doesn't mean that we won't. It just means that it's not yet, because I have not found a free service for that. Okay. Put these away. So what have we got going? I think that's where we're going to stop. I haven't got a design available for the first of the houses, and nor have I figured out which profession I'd like to move out first. And I'm just grabbing the thing that's normally on my coffee pad and drinking that instead of the coffee. No wonder I'm still feeling groggy. You're not half clueless about what's what? Let's roll the geek out while we're here. Two characters who are evil matriarchs. Yes, I was. So I've been hydrating quite nicely. Here's one for everybody else.
2, 4, 6, 8, everybody hydrate!
Silly as that is. Yeah, I've been hydrating a good bit today. Yeah, literature. I mean, being a Cinderella was a short story before it was a movie, then I guess we could call the evil stepmother in that one. Or wicked stepmother, I suppose. Cadillac's finally starting to lose the fight. I'm glad to hear it. Glad to hear it. Evil Matriarch. What's it called? Pickwick Papers, I think, would probably work. All right. So, you've seen a bunch of teardowns, so because I don't have a planned design ready to go, then I think we're going to do a little bit more shop filling, which is still grindy business, but it needs to be done. So a bit more of the armor jazz from yesterday, but I think what I'm going to do this time around is actually just do again like we did before with a whole wall full of stuff and not take everything until we have an entire box full. Let's move this. Which is this? It's bows. Alright, so we're going to do a bit more of that, and that allows us to do some repairs to the picks and so forth. Which one? I know there was another one that needed repair. That one. Oh, I guess I could repair that too. Well, got a bit more homework to do. Let's put these away. I really should clean up what's in here. 1, 2, 3, 4. No, that one. Oh. Dirt. There. Stone. So let's keep moving things. Actually, that's not going to work because, now that I think about it, I've got some andesite that needs to come in here as well. I'm gonna need another chest. Disorganized. Okay. Spelling. Yeah. Maleficent. The way you spelled it reminds me, like, it looks a little bit like an efficient male. As a portmanteau. Squash it all up and we'll just call it a word. Interesting commentary on a lot of things. Okay, this. Make sure there's nothing in here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That ought to do, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7. Let's see, we'd have bows, picks. Okay, you know what I'm gonna do? Let's go, where are they here? Birch. Can I open it through that? Yes, I can. I think she'd count for sure. Shovels. Oops, come on this way. Axes. Swords. Bows. Do. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, okay. And then the 4 pieces of armor, so that would work. Boots. Oops. How polite of you to stay out of the way. That works nicely. I'm not sure if she'd be a matriarch, but maybe. Ursula? Leggings. Just late. Helmet. There we go. Right? Okay. So far, so good. And I really should have centered them. That's gonna bug me. Oh well, I'll move it later. That's an off-screen thing, when I start mucking around with where things are. Bunzel's mother? The one that they called Mother Gothel was definitely an evil character. Nope, not you. I need this.
Howdy.
And I'm going to need... Hey CJ, how are you doing? Long time no see. Well, maybe not long time. At least more than 24 hours. How's that? Okay. So let's... No picks were something we wanted the other day, and both those we were kind of short on. Hello, sir. Oops, I guess I should... Yeah, there we go. Where is the pick guy? That's this one. Aha! Only 2? Come on, you're expensive, man. What a ripoff. What did you have? You're new. What the? You're not supposed to be new. Shovels. I don't know about these shovels. Let's take that off. What about this one? Unbreaking 1. Efficiency 2. Okay, I'll take some of those. No, of course I have to read the instructions. Okay, let's get some more emeralds. Towels folded and put away. Next chore, please. How does she do it? How does she do it? Oh, Poopat's also the biggest fan. See, she fits in all kinds of stuff in the middle. No, that's actually not you, Fox. That's me. Because they also, I believe, have one of my socks in their laundry. One of my brand new socks seems to have snuck in there. I was just about to say, where did I put... let's put the food... Nope. Let's put the food up there. Actually, before I do that, let's see how much the iron farm has in it. Okay, so what is Poodle Pirate adding? Let's see. Biggest fan, Gary. Gary's like, mine! Poodle Pirate. Chest plate, please. Alrighty. Let's see if we have room for... Yeah. So that's what we were going to do that I forgot about squirreling for. I said cows, didn't I? So this one we can handle. And then we need to deal with the cows. I do not want to get to the point where I succumb to the type of inhumane... you will get a better one, Poodle. I'm just going to put this on for now, and then I will go breed up the cows so I can get more leather to replace it with a better one. Oh, you have a chest piece. So would you like me to put a helmet on instead? Or boots? You can choose between helmet or boots. Hey James, good to see you! Well, thank you very, very much for the resub. I appreciate that. Boots then? Alrighty. Same thing with the boots, and I will breed them up and get replacements. Yeah. So what had happened with yours the other day was it was one where I believe you redeemed with the 5,000 one by mistake. And then, where is it here? No. And then so we determined we were going to put 2 pieces on because you'd accidentally redeemed with the one that was twice the price. So now we need farm products. Let's get some wheat. Deal with the cows. Kids woke you up early today. Ooh. Early. Early is... So you're looking at approximately 5 in the morning, I think? I know I've got it tagged for which city you're in, but I never remember when you and Joe split directions. Who goes where? 6 now, but it was closer to 5. Ooh, harsh. Harsh kids. This one and that one. Okay. And then let's go with the other ones. Hello, sheep. Oh, I've got an odd number here. That's not good. Yes, I know. Somebody just got fed that doesn't need it. Go. Morning people are sus, just saying. Well, Fox, you're morning by training. Does that count? Chicken head. There we go. How much? How many feathers do we have in here? I'll take those. The chicken thing production is understandably way down since we're so far away from the castle. And as far as errands go back and forth, we should probably also consider cleaning up the basement. There's a little bit down there that needs to be picked up. I am sort of organized. Where would I put the other feathers? This one? Let's see what we can do. These feathers, get rid of them. There we go. Love morning people. They cover for the rest of us until we're functional. For sure. Yeah, no, the reason I'm not a morning person, but part of the reason I like morning people is often they're also more frequently pardon me for saying so, but neurotypical in a good way. Which means that, oh, trade. I can trade string. I had forgotten about that. Woohoo! I gotta go grab some string. I can do that. We have lots of string. That's the one I just talked to. Where's the other guy? I've got 2. Where'd the other one go? This is the other reason I want to break them into profession buildings, is because then you can find them when you want them. Oh, there he is. He's on the other side. There. Emeralds! Like that. Big string, will ya? Let's see. How much do I have for string? Farm products. That's that. That's that. This is string. You know what? Let's scroll to the basement. Blocks. Oops, I can't eat emeralds. That's not effective. Alright. I know this is not the basement, but we saw what happens. I kind of wish I was a morning person. But what would actually probably happen is not a whole lot of difference. Just because I have trouble getting going, I guess. Oh, yeah. I just thought of a modification that I keep planning to make down here. So this one, you only see one entrance, and it's off-center anyways. So I have the space to be able to do, what do you call it? Like, elevators, and I keep saying, hey, I should do that, and then I forget about it. But I kind of do want to keep some of the ladders, because otherwise I couldn't get off at this platform, to shut the farm off if I wanted to. And sometimes I AFK here, which is kind of a dumb spot to be because then this skeleton's coming down, shoot me. So yeah, that was not exactly the world's smartest decision when I decided to do that. Ow. Alrighty. So someone has been very kindly cleaning up after me. Oh. We have a bit of excess string. Okay. Oh. Well, I can take these boxes up, but then I have to come back down again with a new set because I didn't think to bring... See, that's the thing, when I don't bring the ender chest, I get all messed up. Yeah, I should probably make an elevator to go straight up. Okay, let me just check. This is... What are we at? Okay, so I'm just going to write this down. We're at 2259, 54, and 301. And I think that's 300, and I see a creeper. But it's going through the farm. Yay! Huzzah. Nice. That way I can make the elevator, but I just want to make sure it's coming up in the correct spot. Because I don't want to have it go through the actual farm. That would be, you know, as you can tell, less than optimal. This is slightly off to the side. So where are we here? 299. Yes, I might be able to do it straight up and down to the bottom level. I might be able to, and then that could come up here and there. I'd probably have the drop hole this way so that I could actually be slower, like choose the ladders to be slower, and then come shooting up on this side, but I don't know. We'll have to see because that doesn't necessarily work out quite the way I was thinking. The drop hole immediately next to the elevator doesn't work unless you have... Yeah, you can't leave an air gap in between. Okay, so farm products. What do we got? This one, and string, and oh, arrows goes in the other box. Okay, let's move the gunpowder. Do, and then this way and that way. Okay, what's this? There. String. Bones thankfully goes over here. You can see I've got a few. I didn't originally. And actually the farm is more productive and more effective now that whoever it was that went down there and cleaned up my mess was kind enough to actually do that, and now I have a far more productive farm just by sheer luck. I guess luck isn't the way of putting it. That's feathers. What do I want to steal from this? Let's move these down. And string, because I know I can sell it, let's move those down. There. Okay, that'll work. So now I've got the rows tagged. Alright, so I can sell carrots too, but, yeah. Let's go with these guys and see what they want to do. What are you staring at? What are you? Oh! That had not occurred to me. When I was trying to get another guy in there, it had not occurred to me that we would get a leather worker. It's like, oops. Well, that's less than optimal. Okay, well, I'm gonna ignore you for a minute. We'll deal with you later. Trade! Oops. You're not gonna repair anything if you don't. Let's start with the ones that are almost full, and then work with the ones that are not. This is part of why I forgot about whether or not there was an ender, because you can see that this can be efficient at times, because I get 2 birds with 1 stone. Oh, or not. Hey, you. Belinda. Geek out. Name 6 performers whose names begin with the letter B. Belinda. Ooh, that's a cool one. Haven't heard of that one in a while. Betty Ford. Oh no, that's a president's wife. Never mind. Wrong one. Trying to think who else I had in mind there. I was thinking Mary Ford, and I said Betty Ford. Wrong name. Blondie, yep. Performers, if you're talking non-musicians, Betty White, although I'd be rather frightened to try and hear Betty White sing. That would just be a very scary concept. Let's go... yeah. Maybe this one instead. Oh, come on, guys. Somebody wants to trade this with me, right? Right? Please? Thank you? Nope, apparently not. That's odd. Don't think I got as many trades out of them as usual. Maybe I did. So these are the ones I was repairing. Let's go put away the one that belongs to me. And that way I won't mix it up when I put it in the box. And then this I know needs fixing. And then anything else that... yeah, it's either broken or... it's either broken or doesn't belong to me, which is perfect. That'll work. Bob Dylan, Bach. Yep, Beethoven, I suppose. Because we refer to people by their last names, yes, a lot of those work. Migrate for the winter! Ooh, I like that one. It beats the sheep teleportation. Not that I've seen him, but apparently in trying to replace them, I now have a leather villager, which is not helpful in the slightest. Well, actually, maybe it might be. Maybe I should take a look at that one and see if he's worth keeping. Because given that we're doing the armor stands, maybe he's worth keeping. Okay, sir, what's your special trade? You're the expensive one, right? Let's see, do you have the picks? Oh, no, you're the brand new toolsmith. I haven't traded with that one. That's a leather worker. No, thank you. Where's the other bald-headed ones? Where'd you go? Nope, not you. Okay, well... toolsmith. Aha, you're the one I want. You're the one that I want. You are the one I want. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Can we build it? What? Oh, build you a house. Okay. What have we got? Oops. Amethyst. Amethyst blocks of red nether brick. We shall have to go shopping for those, CJ. So I know I'm going to have to go to the shopping district to drop this off. So I will hold off your house for today, but I'm going to take the notes I need right now, or I'm going to forget. Okay. CJ. And that one is amethyst and Red nether. Okay. Amethyst to red nether brick. We will find a way to make those two colors end up in there, for sure. No, that's fine. I'm just thinking that by the time I get all the materials for that, because it's going to take a little bit of effort, that it would definitely be something that would take up the last half hour and then some, so we wouldn't be having much advanced luck on that anyway. Okay, picks. Axes. Oddly, this is faster. Let's go wake people up. You, Shell, sell to me. I'm gonna wake you out of bed first. Oh, leatherworker. Are you useful? Nah. Guess I can get swords from you? I'll come back. What's this? Oh, you're the one I didn't pick anything from. Does anybody actually want smite swords anymore? Probably not. Not at 2 anyways. Sure. I'll come back to you. I don't really know if I want those or not. Oh, ha! I don't want them. Okay. So this, sir, I don't want that after all. Smite's cool, but I think Smite comes up to Smite 5, so Smite 2 is not really super useful. We'll see. Sharpness and Efficiency 2. Didn't I already pick Efficiency 2? And Breaking Fortune 1 for 17. And Breaking 2, what are these? Okay. I mean, I guess it doesn't particularly matter when I'm trying to fill a shop, I just get everybody. Hey, dude, if you don't have a bed, it's not my problem. How did we end up with that many extras? Okay, now I'm really curious. Where are people finding workstations without beds? Okay, those are the farmers. Huh. Apparently I was looking for 1 extra villager and I got like 3. Interesting. Okay. 2 characters that carry a staff. You keep trying to get a bed, don't you? Alright, let's see if is there anything... Ah! Freaked him out. Oh, okay, let's go sleep. Little John, for sure. Jafar, yep. Little Bo Peep. We're doing pretty well. But you were there the other day. You were here the other day, so you probably saw the same spots I saw for trying to not have villagers spawn. That's okay. None shall pass. You shall not pass. Kind of interesting that one quotes differently. 3. I thought I had 5 cats. There's 3. Oh, okay, there's the other 2, 4. I just can't seem to get this guy down. I don't know what it is. I'll have to get some fish or something. Okay, where was I? I was doing something. I thought I was doing something. Yes, Rafiki, for sure. There have been rumors that the most recent movie by Disney was actually written by AI. I mean, I know AI is bad, but that's a bit ridiculous. Okay, let's deal with this mess. Fine, I'll steal from this end. Like, where'd my shovel go? Well, I'm the doofus. Go. Can I move, please? Nope, I gotta go down another one. There. Try that, Mr. Unemployed. Go find another job. What are you? You're a novice toolsmith, right? Right. Okay. Handle that. I think we have 4 toolsmiths somewhere around the line. Maybe. There's one. 4 toolsmiths, 1, 2, 3. Why do I have 3 armorers? Should have 4. There's the 4th one. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so we got everybody. Ah! Let's see. Which one, Elemental? Honestly, I'd be shocked if AI didn't at minimum contribute to the movie, given what I've seen AI able to do in the world already. Yeah, I would agree. I would agree on that front. Sometimes I think AI can do and does do too much. Let's mess with the beds. Don't really like this corner business. So I'm just going to move them because I can. This one. That one. There. Poodle goes off to a lurk. You know I plan. So if there's a poodle up when we finish, we are headed to poodle. We pairs we just missed the other day. Like, quite literally just. Oh, I have unemployed people now because of that. Interesting. Okay. Well, in that case, I have a job I want you to do. I do not have anything that makes item frames, buddy. I could also use another bow guy, but maybe I think another cartographer might be useful. Give me a quick sec. I want to open the trading list I had bookmarked. Nope, not that one. Games. Minecraft. Uh-oh. Where did... There we go. Nope, not that one. Wrong link. Oh, my mouse froze. Okay, hold on to